Yep. All righty. So that brings us to back into Sunday morning. Our two teams playing. So first off, we have the Vikings and the Ravens. They're playing in Baltimore. The line is Baltimore -6. I'm not surprised that Baltimore is favored here. I honestly expected them to be favored a little bit more. They're coming off a bye week. Typically, they play pretty good off of a bye. The Vikings and Ravens all time are 3-3. All right. So interesting little tidbit about that is that it tends to be a pretty defining game for the Vikings when they play Baltimore. So in those 6 games, in the wins that the Vikings have had, they've actually gone on to the NFC Championship game.
Oh,
all 3 times.
Okay.
In the 3 losses, their head coaches have been fired in that same season.
That is a very telling stat based on what may happen to your team this year.
Yeah. So last week, the Vikings had one of the more abysmal games that I've watched against the Dallas Cowboys, playing backup Cooper Rush. We had every opportunity to take control of that game, and we just played a completely deflated offense. We were something like 1 for 13 on third downs. We kept on throwing way behind the sticks, especially on third downs, lots of screens and things like that. We looked okay in the beginning of the game, and then we just didn't want to play offense. The defense still even looked okay in what they were attempting to do, and their focus was contain the run, and they're going to play real loose on the pass. And obviously, Cooper Rush was able to get some very large passing gains and stuff like that. And even despite that, like, we looked like the better team in that game that just was not wanting to play, in my opinion. It was extremely disappointing to me that players are starting to get frustrated. They're starting to say things. I think that this was kind of the nail in the coffin for the Mike Zimmer era. The only way that Mike Zimmer survives this season now is if in these last 9 games we were to go, I want to say like 8-1 or 7-2. And even then, it's going to be a struggle. I think that it doesn't make sense at this point to fire your head coach midseason, and that the Wilfs won't do that. But I'm saying like 85 to 90% sure that Mike Zimmer is probably done at the end of this season.
Yeah.
Like I said, I've been devastated, but I just still fucking felt like shit after this last week, because like we should have won that game. We have a good offense, and we just did not put it out on the field at all. And it's a coaching failure.
Yeah, it was a coaching failure on your guys' part last week. I took the Cowboys on the line, I want to say, but I think you had switched me over to the Vikings on the win. It's not going to happen. I got the Ravens coming off an ass beating and then a bye week. Ravens are going to come out and they're gonna do exactly what the Ravens are supposed to do. They're gonna win this game. They're gonna cover, in my opinion, as well. The Ravens, one of the places that they are very susceptible is in their pass defense. When we expected it to be very good, they have not been great. And you guys are running kind of an anemic offense right now, and I don't understand why, because you have a ton of fucking weapons. So I got the Ravens. I got the cover. This is going to be the writing on the wall that Zimmer's done at the end of the year.
Yeah, I'm hoping that our offense has performed like it has because we've been told to run it a certain way. The offensive coordinator, Kubiak, has been told to run it a certain way. And I'm hoping that everyone is fucking on notice in that building right now. And it's now, okay, the restrictions are off and fucking go play ball. I think the players know that they're at this major turning point. I think the coaching staff knows that they're at this major turning point. And hopefully that turns them from this kind of blah, blah offense with a lot of good players to trying to be a little bit more electric. I would love to see that this week. I don't have a lot of faith in it. But I try to stay optimistic about it, and that's what I'm hoping to see this week. I have the Ravens winning this game. We've played very good teams close, so I think that we can actually cover. The Vikings can cover, but I do have the Ravens winning this game, unfortunately. All right. Next, we've got your Browns playing the Bengals.
Yep.
All right. And this is a home game for Cincinnati. Cincinnati's favored -2.5 at this point.
Yeah, so a lot of turmoil around the Browns right now. If you haven't heard, Odell Beckham Jr. has been cut from the team. It appears that based on the way the negotiations were structured, they decided to cut off the last 2 years of his deal, and they're going to release him and still pay him the 7.5. Oh, no, I'm sorry. They are on the hook for 7.5. No. Any team that picks him up will be on the hook for 7.5. So it looks like he's going to be a free agent because he's released to waivers. If that waiver number had been smaller, somebody probably claims him. But because the Browns are not paying his salary this year, or that he's not going to be claimed because nobody's going to pick up a wide receiver in the middle of the year for $7.5 million still owed. And then he's going to go into free agency. So he's probably going to free agency, not getting the waiver claim. He's going to be able to pick the team that he goes to. That's why I alluded to some of the teams he may go to, like the Rams, the Raiders. He could go within the division, and a lot of things could happen. The Browns are in a tough spot right now. Our coach, Kevin Stefanski, is not really doesn't say there's no sound bites that come from him. This week he said this is basically a must-win game. We are desperate for a win. That is the most boisterous thing that you will probably ever hear Kevin Stefanski say. And we are starved for a win, but we're not going to fucking get it. And that sucks. I think Baker will play well because he plays better without Odell. He does. I think Nick Chubb will have a decent game. The Bengals are fucking good, though. The Bengals are really fucking good. They dismantled the fucking Ravens. Their weapons on offense are fantastic. The only way I see the Browns really pulling this out is if we can get a ton of pressure against that kind of weak offensive line for the Bengals. But I can't.
The Bengals lost to the Jets.
Yeah, the Bengals lost to the Jets last week. So they lost to the Jets last week, which means they're fucking on notice that shit's not acceptable. Now, Mike White played a goddamn great game.
He did.
Which is why he should be starting instead of Zach Wilson. But I can't pick the Browns in this game because of all the turmoil, because of all the things. I think it'll be a close-ish game. But I got my Browns dropping this game. The line right now is the line that I got anyways was Bengals -2.5. I think the Bengals can win by a field goal.
It is
for sure.
It is Bengals -2.5 right now. I think the Bengals could win by a field goal, but I know you're down on that situation right now. I still think the Browns are a good team. They're hurt, but getting Odell, look, I
think getting Odell out of the building was a
helps.
Good thing.
The way that they did it, you should have fucking traded him.
We should have fucking traded him.
I wanted you guys to trade him
to the Saints
from the beginning of the year.
There were reports that Odell had requested a trade during training camp. He requested a trade again on the week of.
I just think he's a bad teammate, dude.
I'm not going to say that because by all accounts, everything that's coming out of that Browns locker room, he's a great teammate. But Baker and him were never on the same page.
He's done this shit wherever he's at, where he tries to force himself out or talk to other players, being like, make your team trade for me and stuff like that. He likes getting poo-poo on his chest. But that's not good locker room stuff.
But here's the thing. I can't back that up because every report that I hear is that he was fantastic inside the building. Him and Baker have a good relationship outside of the building. It's just they could not connect inside the building.
It seems
And
like there's a PR campaign run, though, by Odell and his dad and his whole crew to try to get him out of there.
On that whole thing with Odell's dad did not put together that fucking video. No. The J Daddy Productions. I don't know if you'll ever see this, but really good job putting together those video clips of Baker missing those throws. Now you could do that with every fucking quarterback in the NFL as well, missing guys that are wide open. That happens all the time. But Odell's dad didn't put that together. Odell didn't tell his dad to put that together. That was already out on the internet for almost 2 weeks before he posted it to IG. So Odell wanted out. That is very clear. Odell wanted out. He's wanted out for a while. They didn't click. There was an excellent report, and I don't remember her last name, Aditi. She's a reporter, I think, for NFL Network. Did an excellent job. They just were never on the same page. We run a very much rhythm and timing offense, and there's a lot of times where Odell's not where he's supposed to be because Odell is not necessarily a rhythm and timing guy. He is a playmaker. Odell likes to do things outside of what's written into the scheme to get himself open. So they were never on the same page. Baker is a rhythm and timing thrower. Like, even when we move the pocket, it's for a read. That's where he's looking. And he expects guys to be in that spot at that time. And it just never hooked up. So I don't have a problem with Odell wanting out. I don't have a problem with Baker not throwing to Odell because he's not in the right spot, because that's the way the offensive scheme is structured. They should have traded him. It was a terrible decision to not trade him.
To not even get
nothing
a low
back.
pick for him.
Now
really sucks.
It does obviously take money off the books next year when the cap goes up again. The Browns may be in a position to draft a really good wide receiver somewhere in the middle of the first round, unless we can drastically improve. The Browns are getting Donovan Peoples-Jones back this week. I have said before, give me DPJ over OBJ. Those guys work well together, and OBJ and Baker didn't. This game is set up for the typical Brown. I mean, this is me being a Browns fan my entire life. I expect us to lose this game because that's what the Browns do. Turmoil inside the building, the Browns lose, things fall apart. I placed a bet on the Bengals to beat us. I would be happy to give that money to Caesars if the Browns can pull off this win. I just don't see it.
It could be difficult, but I think the Browns are a good team. I think that this helps them a little bit with OBJ being out there. Like you said, DPJ is coming back. I'll fucking do it for you. I'm taking the Browns.
Fuck yeah. There we go. Somebody's got to do it.
Yep.